Hey guys, and welcome back for another tutorial. I know it's been a minute, but I'm really excited to get back into the swing of things. And here in Ontario, they just announced the kids will be going back to school full time, so I can dedicate more of my time to making tutorials for you. So today I'll be showing you how to make this super cute pencil case. I love this design. It opens up nice and wide so you can easily grab what you need. Of course, with all of my tutorials, there will be a blog post with measurements and links to products and tools I use. So let's just get right into the tutorial. So for this tutorial, I will be using cotton fabric. I'm also going to be applying a medium weight interfacing onto the back of all of my cotton pieces. If you are using a thicker fabric, say a canvas, then you might not need to add any interfacing. I'm doing it so that my bag has some rigidity and it will stay up on its own. So I will have links to the type of interfacing that I like to use at the blog post. I also have a zipper that is the same length as the bag, and then I also have this little tab piece which is optional. So like I said, all those measurements are at the blog post. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is take one of the outer pieces and then one of the lining pieces, and we're going to take my zipper and we're going to sandwich that in between these two pieces. Now my zipper might look a little bit different to you guys if you're not familiar with zipper tape or zipper by the yard. So I buy a yard or so of the zipper tape or whatever, and then I buy my pulls and then I just assemble them. It is way cheaper, and of course there's less zipper in the landfill because then you actually use what you actually buy. So I really like that if you are planning on making a lot of zipper pouches in the future. So I am sandwiching that zipper in between the layers of my fabric, making sure that that zipper pull is facing the outer fabric. And then I'm just going to do a stitch straight along that edge. And first I'm going to be sewing that little tabby piece that I showed you in the beginning, and I'm just going to sew down both sides to make it look like a little strap. And I usually like to do a 3 stitch length when I do this. Whenever I do any type of top stitching, I always go to a 3 on my machine. Of course, you have to experiment. Depending on your machine, I have a brother, so 3 I prefer for my top stitching, and then I usually hang around a 2.5 for everything else. So now I'm going to switch over to a zipper foot. If you're not familiar with zipper feet, I will also leave a video in the information icon all about the zipper foot. It's a very handy little foot when you are working with your zipper teeth, and it helps get you nice and close to those zipper teeth when you're sewing. It can be done with a regular foot, but I prefer my my zipper foot for sure, and I kind of freak out if I ever lose it. So I'm just sewing down here, and then I'm going to take it out of the machine, and then I will open up the fabric, and then I will expose the zipper, and then just fold it down, press it with my fingers. If you want, you can of course press it with your iron, but I'm just going to make it as flat as possible, pulling it, kind of tugging it away from the zipper to make sure that all the fabric is nice and tight. And then I'm going to do again a top stitch along that edge using my top stitch length at 3. So then after this, we can take the other 2 pieces of cotton fabric and we can do the same thing on the other side, making sure that the outer fabric is touching the zipper pull. And I'm going to flip it over, and I'll put the lining fabric, and I'm going to make sure everything is nicely lined up, especially on the sides. You don't want to have to end up accidentally having things shift, and then you might have to cut off a 1/2 inch of your bag, and then it'll be smaller once it's finished, which I've done before. So now again, I'm going to be sewing along this edge here, and then I'm just going to open it up and do that top stitch real quick. So like I said in the beginning, it has been a minute since I last posted, but of course, everyone else's year has been going exactly how mine has been going. But then to top it all off, I did sprain my ankle a month ago, so I have had to take a step back, you know, take it easy. I couldn't go down to the craft room. So now that, you know, I'm getting a little faster these days, I am able to do some more projects. So now that I have done the top stitching, I'm just going to take note as to where my zipper closes the bag, because that's going to be the top of the pencil case. So as you can see, I just put a little clip here just to remind me that that is going to be the top and where it closes. So now I'm just going to take the right sides of the outer fabric and place that together. And I'm just going to put some clips here, and then I will flip the lining under and then put the lining right sides together. And I'm going to be sewing the where I put the clips, so along both edges, but not down the sides of the bags just yet. I'm just going to mark here with a pencil, just basically for you guys, so you can see I'm going to be leaving a hole here, and that's going to be used for turning. So I'm just going to sew down here, and then I'm going to sew down here, and then stop, and then keep going after this little pencil line here. So I'm just going to sew that real quick. If you haven't already checked out my blog though, I have been working on making it more visually pleasing, so I would love your feedback. You know, go over there and then even just write a comment on the Facebook group. There are 2 Facebook groups, one for sharing and one for caring. So definitely all those social media links are in the information icon, so I would love it if you guys followed along, and of course, you know, share what you're working on. I love to see if you guys make any of my stuff or anybody else's stuff. I just love it all, and of course it just helps to grow the community and bring more people together for, you know, the positive goals in life. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking, so like I said before, this is going to be the top end of our pouch, and I just put some clips all along there. We're gonna sew straight down that side, but the other side, which is going to be the bottom of the pouch, we're going to take the seam of the lining and we're going to put that up against the zipper teeth, lining that centered, and then we will do the same thing with the seam of the outer fabric, lining that up with the zipper teeth, and then I'm just going to clip these edges, and then I'm going to go back to the other side and I'm going to insert my little tab loopy thing. Like I said, that's totally optional. If you want to attach a keyring to it or a tassel or anything like that, then this is a really good little place to place that. So I'm just going to fold that in half, and then I'll just slip it in between the layers of the outer fabric, making sure that the raw edges are sticking out. And I will position that probably like a 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch down from the zipper, and then I'm just going to clip that in place. So I'm just going to sew down the one side straight down, and then the other side straight down, like that. Super easy. And once I go over that zipper tab, I like to go back and forth like 3 times, just to make sure that that is nice and secure, especially if you do plan on having things hanging off of it. And I'll just do the other side. And then we will be using that hole that we left in the lining for turning, and then we can start to reveal the bag. I'm so excited. Okay, so here is how it should look. So the zipper that I use is quite easy to open from the inside of the bag. If I was using one of those nylon zippers that I would get, you know, in bulk from Amazon or eBay, those are a little bit more difficult to open up that way. So you might want to open the zipper up a little bit before you sew the edges. Just a little tip there. But mine is super easy to open up, so no problem there. And then of course you just poke out all your edges and everything, and then I'm just going to go inside and close up the hole. And then I just did a top stitch. You can do an invisible stitch by hand if you want to, or even just get, you know, your thread to match the fabric so that it's less visible. But since it's for me, I just did the top stitch to close that up, and then it's done. How adorable is this? I can totally envision, you know, like college or university students using these, because they usually only have like pens and pencils and that's it. You know, like not too many things, but super cute, hanging off your backpack. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and of course share with all your friends. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys!